Hello everybody. I should be live right now. This is a surprise live. A lot of you were not expecting this. Okay, hello to all my subscribers slash supporters and everyone that's new that's tuning in. I wanted to do a live call-in show about this case that's going on right now, the Lindsay Clancy case, okay? As you can see, I have a few questions for you. As a matter of fact, let me move those questions down just a tad bit. I have some questions for you about this case that I would like for you to answer. As a matter of fact, okay. All right. Let me move this down. Sorry, y'all. Please get those likes up when you come on in. You know the routine. It affects the algorithm. People will know that I'm live. That's the call-in number. Let me put in the chat that the phone line is open. Phone line is open. That will be pinned as the first comment. And before I start talking on the phone with all of you, I am going to go over this because some people watching might not be familiar about who this woman is and what's going on. So before we really get into it, and I see more of you come in the chat, I am going to tell you who she is, what did she do, why is she on trial, and it has divided a number of people as far as the opinions in America. Some are saying women have set themselves back by supporting this woman. Okay, give me a quick second. Let me see if I'm live, just to make sure. I don't see where I'm live. I don't see it. Hold on. I need to make sure. No one's in the chat. It doesn't say that I'm live. This is strange. Somebody say something in the chat if you hear me. I need to know because it's not showing that I'm even live. Oh, now it's showing on my phone. Oh, what is going on? This is very strange. The notifications just went out. It's been 3 minutes and it just popped up on my phone. Okay, so I am waiting for you all to come in because it just popped up on my phone now. Okay, hello, Mr. Universe. So I'm going to say some things again. Give me a quick second for those of you who just came in. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. So basically, this is a call-in show about Lindsay Clancy. Some of you might be familiar, or maybe you're not familiar with this case. So look, these are the questions that I have for you about her. But let me take these questions off real quick because I want to go over what this is about. Who is Lindsay Clancy and what's going on? Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it real quick. Okay, so Lindsay Clancy. Well, she's currently on trial because she strangled her 3 children with an exercise belt or something. She claims that this happened because of postpartum depression. So she's in jail and she has a lot of supporters, which is shocking a lot of people. So far, $1 million has been raised for her family, going towards to help her in this trial and everything. And she has a lot of women supporting her. And this has a lot of people with different opinions. Like, hold on now. because this woman strangled all three of her kids. It says that she's on trial for, unaliving her children by strangulation. This has sparked a major conversation around postpartum and mental health, postpartum depression, mental health, and supporters have raised again $1 million to help her parents as they continue to go through the trial. Okay, so postpartum is a real thing, but look, she's not the first woman I've heard of that took the life of her kids because of postpartum depression. Depression is real, but some people have different opinions. They're wondering, was this premeditated? Is she just crazy? What's going on? Now, also, what you don't always hear people saying, she's paralyzed because after she strangled her three children, I guess she realized what she did or she was going through it. She jumped out of a window. She jumped out the window to take her life, but she survived and she's paralyzed from the waist down now. Okay. Now, the articles are saying, are women on the left okay? I mean, mentally, because what the F? Lindsay Clancy is on trial for the murder of her three children, who she admitted to murdering. But that's not stopping liberal women from donating hundreds and thousands of dollars towards her and her parents, who have been by their murderous daughter's side since the trial began. We support you, Lindsay. Stay strong. We've got your back. Sending love and strength across miles today and always. Lindsay, your ex failed you in every way possible. The response is eerie and a sign of the times when mothers can unalive their three kids and get support from women around the world, while the father who was left picking up the pieces is considered a failure. Who must be the reason she took the life of the kids in the first place? I think it's disgusting to blame her husband. Let her speak. Let Lindsay speak and tell what drove her. Postpartum depression isn't caused by men all the time. Okay, it is a mental health imbalance. Now, it can be a factor if your man is not helping you with the kids, if you're overwhelmed, but that's not always what causes postpartum depression. Also, I'm gonna tell you the quiet part. The reason why so many women are supporting her is because a lot of women have thought about possibly doing what she did. They just didn't go through with it. They've been so stressed and overworked and hearing the baby scream and cry and this and that they just wanted to do something to them. But the average woman is not going to publicly admit that. Most women might just want to take their own life or whatever, or regret even giving birth. There's a woman on TikTok who has a whole entire show dedicated to women who are admitting that they regret having their own children, and a few men. It's something. It's an eye opener for a lot of people to hear. So let's get more into it. And I'm going to give you my opinion about this woman. Okay. So, you know, is this modern day feminism in action? Oh, they're always blaming feminism. Do these people believe they're taking on the patriarchy by supporting this woman? It's truly sickening that we are now in an era where even murdering your own kids is rewarded with praise and $1 million in donations, where thousands of women will help you escape accountability because being a girl is hard. Okay, so Lindsay Clancy said she was so glad her kids were safe after she took their life, the chaplain said. Okay. I mean, the truth is that she wasn't in her right mind. She wasn't. She even jumped off a two-story building her damn self. So I don't think she was just some woman who hated her own kids and woke up one day and decided to strangle them with exercise belts. I think that this was a buildup. She had been speaking to somebody, a mental health person, before. Okay. Okay, let's get into it. The chaplain testified that she mentioned hearing a male voice multiple times in her head. The voice, according to her, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she or her children would be safe. She alluded to the fact that it was a male voice and it was persistent. Just because a man voice is in your head telling you better do it doesn't mean you have to do it. But if you're going through a mental health psychosis and stuff, during a brief cross examination, he was asked why her notes did not mention Clancy hearing a voice in her head prior to taking her kid's life. He said that as a chaplain, she was not there to evaluate the patient, but to bear witness to their suffering. The chaplain. Okay. Lindsay Clancy was begging for help in the months leading up to the murder of her 3 children and attempting to end her own life. Her former mother-in-law testified for her, saying that Lindsay was struggling. We were all concerned. The mother of Patrick Clancy, her ex-husband. All right, let's see. Lindsay Clancy also attempted to take her own life that night and was left paralyzed. Lindsay and Patrick Clancy are now divorced. Susan Clancy, who like Lindsay was a labor and delivery nurse. Okay? She said that she and her former daughter-in-law were close and described Lindsay as a wonderful mother who was very nurturing and very loving. Her testimony echoed emotional accounts of the day before Lindsay did what she did. She saw Lindsay become increasingly anxious, paranoid, and wanting to take her life during 2022. Susan Clancy says that she was open with her about struggling and asked her mother-in-law for support. The jury were shown text messages where Lindsay spoke about fears that she had developed dependence on mental health pills but couldn't sleep without taking them. She says, "I'm not okay. I'm terrified of taking meds tonight." She texted her mother-in-law in 2002, 2 months before she took the kid's life. The trial centers, hold on. The trial centers not on whether Lindsay Clancy took the life of her kids, which her lawyers do not dispute, but on the state of her mind when she did it. The defense argues she shouldn't be held criminally responsible because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, while prosecutors say she planned the murders and understood what she was doing. Lindsay's mother, Paula, who lives in Connecticut, said that she often stayed with her in Massachusetts from October to December. She said Lindsay was scared of sleeping alone and became increasingly paranoid and believed the medication she was taking was destroying her mind. So, what is postpartum depression? Postpartum depression is a serious mood disorder that occurs after a woman gives birth. It brings on intense feelings of sadness, anxiety, and exhaustion that make it hard to care for yourself or your baby. It is more severe than temporary baby blues and requires medical care. What are the signs of postpartum depression? Feeling hopeless, empty, and sad most of the time, crying a lot for no reason, trouble sleeping or wanting to sleep all the time, losing interest in things you usually like, having trouble connecting with your own baby, thinking about hurting yourself or the baby. What is the cause and the risk? Sudden drops in your hormones like estrogen and progesterone after birth, extreme tiredness and lack of sleep, a past history of depression and anxiety, little or no help from family and friends, or even your husband, possibly, like I had said, and stressful events or money worries. I just say full blown depression, basically. And I've gone through that, so I know that this is very real. I don't think that I would, this what she ended up doing. Look, I'm gonna give my opinion before y'all call in. Now, rest in peace again to Hayden Panettiere. But she also suffered from postpartum depression. Let's see something that she had to say. Rest in peace to her.
What do you want people to know about postpartum depression that you think they miss?
That it's real, that it's not something we make up. It's not something we want. It's not that we've lost our marbles, and it's not something that we want to go through. And we're not lying when we tell you something's wrong. We don't have control over this. And this would be the last thing that we would ever want to experience or go through. We want to be with our brand new child and be filled with joy and feel like the luckiest person in the world and capture every moment. For anyone to think otherwise is just misinformed.
Okay, so let me get something up real quick. Okay, hold on. Hmm, should I put this up here? I think I'll leave that up for now. When it comes to Lindsay Clancy, I'm torn on it. I mean, I feel, Lord have mercy. I do believe in postpartum depression as someone who has had severe depression before. So I definitely believe in postpartum depression. The thing is, though, the reason why I'm torn on this case is because at what moment did her brain shift back to normal? I mean, you taking strangling the life out of someone is not fast. It could be up to a minute or two. I mean, you literally see the life being sucked from them. And I'm thinking her children were ages, I believe, 8 through 3. No, one of them I think was 8. Another one might have been 5 or 3, and the other one was 8 months old. They were under 10. And I'm thinking if you strangle the life out of one because you snapped from this overload of postpartum depression, was there a pause before you went to the next child and then strangled the life out of them? I would love to know how many minutes in between did it take for her to do what she did? Because at what point does your brain realize I have my murdered children laying in front of me on the floor? At what point does your brain click in what you have done? I would love to know how many minutes did it take for all 3 of them to be strangled to death? And why didn't she stop at one point? Some people might forgive and say, okay, with one, the woman had the severe mental imbalance and all that and snapped. I'm not saying it's right, but some people might forgive it. But then you move on to the next child and then strangle the life out of them. And then you move to the next child. I'm not saying she didn't snap. I think that once she realized what she did after the fact, that's when she didn't want to live herself. Now, I thought it said that she didn't slit her throat. The most I do know is that she jumped out the window trying to end her life. So she wasn't on a mission to just get rid of her kids, because she also tried to get rid of herself as well. All of them to be gone. Okay. Okay, it says that her defense is saying she suffered a severe psychotic break and induced by postpartum psychosis. You know, a lot of men don't understand. How can a man speak for a woman who has postpartum depression? You don't know what it's like to be pregnant. You don't know what it's like to have your estrogen and progesterone levels out of whack. You don't know what it's like to have a menstrual cycle and go through PMS, or what it feels like to be on a cycle and problems that come. You don't know what it's like to have problems with your ovaries and all types of problems and all this other stuff. That men don't experience that. So you can't, can a man really speak? on a woman having postpartum. Only a woman who has had postpartum will understand a woman who has postpartum. A man, a lot of men judge women all the time, but they don't even go through what women go through. You know, you have these men out here talking about abort. I've heard men say the reason so many women is supporting this woman is because so many women have had aborts that they just don't give a damn about children. Well, since when have men give a damn about children? Men don't care about no damn kids on average. You don't raise them, you don't give birth, you don't take care of them. You're always raping kids and all over the globe. You won't feed them. The government wants to charge kids money just to have lunch at school. Men, no, no, it's called Mother Earth and Mother Nature for a reason because most women are nurturing on average. But you have a sprinkle who go through postpartum or not and are not nurturing. They're not the majority. Okay. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking, well, we can see this just didn't happen overnight. Hold on for a second. This didn't just happen overnight now. Since 2022, she was suffering from mental health problems and confiding in her husband's mother. She said she was paranoid and anxious. And then all of a sudden, she claimed she heard a man's voice telling her she has to do this to herself and the kids. My thing is that if you can recognize that something's off and you tell people that something's wrong, why couldn't she just give the kids to the mother-in-law and say, "Look, I need to check myself into a mental health thing because I'm hearing this voice. I need you to take the kids because I can't take it no more. I'm about to go off." I know a lot of white women don't always talk like that, but I'm about to go off. And these kids, no, I need you to come pick up these damn kids or lock the damn kids in a different room until the husband gets home and tell the husband to call 911 because I might do something. You have to fight. You got to fight to keep the love there. You have to fight to keep your sanity. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy when you are fed up. You're just fed up. And she was going through it. I mean, she was medicated and everything. So people can't just, I don't believe she was just some mother that got tired of being a mama and one day said, I'm going to strangle these kids with an exercise belt. No, there's evidence of a mental health imbalance and depression for years before, about a year or two, a buildup. I don't know what's in her notes. If I don't know, but she was going through it. I don't know if she was having problems in her marriage. Because sometimes, look, you do have sneaky people who could blame stuff on the mental health. You have women who regret having kids or who hate their husbands and take out the kids as punishment towards the husband. I have heard of that happening. There was a case of a woman, um, she didn't like her man. And when he came home, he was a police officer. When he came home, she had put the kids in the microwave. They were little infants. She put them in the microwave. If it wasn't the microwave, excuse me, it was the oven. It was either the oven or the microwave. But she did that because she didn't like the baby daddy. And that's what she did when he came home. That's what he found as a police officer himself. You have people who do stuff like that. I think that she did have postpartum. I believe she did. I don't know if it was premeditated. I question again, how long did it take to strangle all of them before it clicked in your mind that you are murdering all three of your children? Clearly, she didn't want to live either. I don't know if it was planned for her to take her life and the kids, or she snapped after she saw what she did and then jumped out the window. Now she's alive still and paralyzed, and a lot of women are sympathizing with her and have given her $1 million on the GoFundMe, her parents. Even if she isn't found completely guilty, she's going to do some type of time. I don't know if they'll put her in an institution or if she'll get if she has to stay in the house, with the ankle bracelet type of thing. I don't know. I don't know. So I want to hear from her. I want her to talk. I want her to do an interview and tell what the hell was going on. Okay. So I have some question. Um, Hold on. Mr. Universe, you said you can't just murder your kids and blame it on depression. But that is a real thing as to what causes it, the mental health imbalance. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that it's right. That's why I said you got to fight with everything in you. Like if you know it's a buildup where I can't do it no more. I can't take it. You got to fight with everything in you and think about the love for your kids and that they're innocent. And like I said, take them to a neighbor's house and call 911 on yourself. Lock them in a room to keep them yourself from them. But so the husband comes home. Lock them in the room and run out the house and go run down the street and call 911 and tell them, look, I'm having an episode. I'm going to hurt them or something. Please come get me. That's something that I think a person would do if they know they can't to do it no more and it's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? I would want to know were the exercise belts always in there? I think she took them in the basement. And that's another thing why they might say it was premeditated, because if you have to walk them downstairs to the basement, you planning something. It's different if it's just out the blue. Get exercise bites and you just start strangling like out the damn blue and just take it. Versus, come on, kids, come downstairs to the basement. Then someone would think, oh, you plotting and planning because you telling them to come downstairs now. Versus an immediate psychotic break. Just, So, look, the phone line is open. I don't know how many people, I'm looking on my phone. I don't know how many people is in here. I know I used to announce my live calls in the community section. Oh Lord, I only got 12 people. My notifications didn't go out. Does anybody want to call in? I have questions for you. The questions on the screen. Is postpartum depression a valid excuse to murder your 3 children? Have you ever suffered from postpartum depression? Do you know someone who had postpartum depression? Was she suffering from temporary insanity? And are women evil for supporting her? Those are the questions that I have for the public. But I mean, anyone in the chat, 12 people in here, you could call in to give your honest opinion about it if you think she was right or if you think she was wrong. If no one calls, then I'm going to end the live. I pretty much gave my opinion, my honest opinion about the situation. Um, I guess the $1 million will go towards her lawyer fees and her medical needs and possibly the family's privacy or possibly relocating, possibly. Um, I don't know what I see happening to this woman. I have a feeling they might not convict her. But the thing is that this might set off a roller coaster of other women intentionally murdering their kids and then blaming it on postpartum depression. I was depressed. I had a mental imbalance. My thing is, then they might start requiring that you have medical evidence that you went to a doctor, that you spoke to a specialist or somebody like that to prove that you had postpartum depression. I'm telling you, if she's found innocent, you might have a string of women murdering their damn kids and using this as an excuse to get away with it. I mean, we've seen things like this before. I was just telling somebody, remember that woman that drowned her kids in the damn car, and then she claimed a black man had took her kids, and then they found out she was lying the whole damn time. She was the one who drove the damn car into the ocean or something like that. So, Kay Jones says she's guilty. I don't feel sorry for her because they never feel sorry for black women or people in general. Some people do. But I do think if she were black, I don't think she would, no, she would not have $1 million in no damn donations. And her ass probably would have been convicted already, unfortunately. So, I mean, I'm looking at the look in her eyes. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me make this bigger. She looks crazy to me. The look in her eye. I want her to talk. Get her on trial, please, and let's hear her story. You know, like I said, I think a lot of people already forgiven. You got a lot of women who are supporting her doing this. Like I said, it's torn. Like I could see again, people maybe forgiving one, but you took out three. Okay, give me one quick second. I have a call. Let me put this on the phone thing. Give me a second. Welcome to the Cerebral TV show. Let me put the microphone. Hello.
Hey, I'm Nikki Moreau. To me, I do not feel sorry for this lady. I can just look at her picture right now and see she look like she'll do it again. She looks very smug in that photo. But anyway, I don't like how people. Now you know what? Don't get me wrong. I have two children. I had my kids when I was 20 and 21, so very young. And I feel like I had more sense than some of these women have today. And I was basically a child myself because I know I had the common sense to know that if you hurt a child, you're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did have my moments when I was, into my postpartum depression, but that's when I had to, I think I heard people saying if your child is crying too much and you're tired, call a friend, call family, walk out of the room, take some deep breaths. I don't know if they're doing that now, but I know back in the day they do something like that. But I had to realize, you can't hurt this kid. And mainly you be tired. Like I don't know what she went through, but I know I was tired because I had two kids back to back. I really get no sleep, things like that. But when you have kids back to back like that, you need to know what you're putting yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
She had 3 under 10.
Yes.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
So,
do you
could have, if her husband wasn't helping her with these children, these 3 kids, was he even helping her with the first?
I don't know if he was helping her or not. I'm not sure what was going on in the house. Do you think that postpartum depression is a valid excuse to murder your 3 children?
No. Because at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, your kids have passed. What kind of excuse can you give yourself? Oh, because I was depressed, like you said earlier. And then actually, I think some women, and I really hate they do this because I do agree with you say when they do this, it gives other women leeway to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, when does it end?
Yeah.
If women are having good postpartum depression, y'all need to do something instead of just sitting there because the children are getting killed, and that's not the kids' fault. It's like the kids are always the casualties of the war. She said she wanted to kill herself, but she should have did that first. If she felt like she was a danger and she wanted to hurt somebody, she just went ahead and just took herself. And then, but now, and I just think it's really weird how those women was rallying around her and saying it's okay. It's not okay.
Now let me ask you this. You said you suffered from postpartum depression before. What were the symptoms? Like, what do you go through when you have postpartum depression? What was it like for you?
Okay, you're very tired. Um, and also when you're about to have the baby, like in that ninth month, you are very tired. I guess because your body's tired, the baby's tired, and you're ready to give birth, and you're really not sleeping that well for that ninth month. So when the baby comes, you going through a lot of emotions such as labor and all that stacking up on top of each other, and then when the baby comes home, the baby just keeps crying. But they don't understand. So I had to teach myself, kids can't talk. The baby, he can't talk. So the only way it's going to tell me something's wrong with me is going to cry. And
Yeah.
also, you do be sleepy like all the time because the baby's up all night and your sleep patterns messed up. At the end of the day, you have to breathe in and breathe out because you're supposed to, like, women, like, especially first time moms, look at doing like a lot of research. And they tell you things like this, like, make sure you get your sleep. Make sure you sleep when the baby sleeps. Make sure you make time for yourself. If it isn't but just to go in the bathroom for about 10 minutes. Because at the
Mm.
end of the day, that's your child. And then now, the children are gone, so I wonder how she's going to do the next 6 years.
Mm-mm-mm. So do you feel like a lot of women, because she has a lot of women supporting her, do you feel like women are evil for supporting this woman?
I think women, they need to get out their feelings and look at the bigger picture. Um, I think they riding around her. Like I said, she have a lot of kids, so I kind of understand that she's going through, but at the end of the day, she's still a murderer. And these women should know better. To me, I don't feel like children are protected at all all over the world, especially in the U.S. It's
Yeah.
like nobody really cares about the children. Everybody cares about the adults and what the adults go through, and nobody cares about the children. And I just doesn't think that's not fair. And these women who go right around her, like you said, they probably had aborts, and it probably don't bother them, or they just
Mm. Mm-mm.
I
Okay.
just think it's kind of crazy. People want to give her freely money, but got mad when people give criminal empty money. It's do the same thing.
Mm. Okay.
They still kill people at the end of the day. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your call. Thank you.
thank you, Cerebral. I
All right.
love
Love
your
you.
show.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You have a
Bye.
good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
I love it. I am back with some of the call-ins like the olden times. Y'all remember, damn it. Okay. I have another call-in show that I want to do that definitely y'all probably be calling up on this one. I'll let you know ahead of time. I think I'm going to do a call in about Clarissa Shields because a lot of Black women don't seem to like her, and this has been a topic. So I might do a call in about her very, very soon. Possibly Saturday. I'm not sure. So I want to say that women, because we had talked about abort earlier. A lot of women have had them, but not all women wanted to do it. It's not an easy decision when a woman does that. Not Some women can easily do it and just move on with their life, and some women feel bad about it, especially if they're religious or all types of stuff like that. So all right. I thank her so much for her call. Anybody else want to call in to give their opinion about Lindsay Clancy? Do you think she's guilty, or do you feel she stands a chance of winning under claiming she had severe postpartum depression? She heard a voice in her head of a man telling her to do this to herself and her children. She strangled the children with an exercise belt, all three of them, and took their life. And she does have proof on record of talking to a doctor and being on medication for severe depression and everything like that. Um, the women who are supporting her, I'm like, shit, she got $1 million so far, her parents on GoFundMe. I thought about starting a GoFundMe before for a good reason for something, but I'm not sure. But I'm like, damn, she got $1 million. She strangled them kids, but it's for her parents. And like I said, it's probably for a multitude of different reasons why they need this money. I'm sure it's not just going to her, it's for the parents and maybe relocating and stuff like that. And um, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to give her jail time or if they're going to put her in an institution. I don't know. But this is a damn shame. Like I said, if she's found innocent, I would not be shocked if I see a lot more women who intentionally took their kids out saying, "Oh, I had postpartum." In some cases, it's true, and in other cases, it's not. So we shall see what will happen. Hello, Guilty Angel. This is actually the end of this live. The notifications I don't think really went out, but I thank you all for joining me. Sonia says you just can't go back to normal life after childbirth, especially if the woman has back-to-back babies. We need to recognize how a woman's brain changes after birth. And like I said, if you watch the beginning, I didn't completely vilify Lindsay Clancy about what happened. I just have a few questions, some things when this did happen. I do think, like I had said, a lot of men speak on women in politics and make choices for us, and they don't even go through what a woman goes through. They know nothing about it. They haven't even experienced it. And if you've suffered from regular depression, you definitely know and can believe in postpartum depression. So a lot of the symptoms are actually the same as regular severe depression. So my goodness, this is just crazy. I'll be watching to see what happens, if what they're going to do. If they're going to give her jail time, if they're going to give her the chair, if they're going to let her go free, maybe do house arrest or put her in a mental institution. I don't know. But we shall see. We shall see. And I do hope that people start taking postpartum serious. I had played the video, rest in peace again to Hayden Panettiere, talking about it because she suffered from it as well. A lot of women do, a lot of women do. So and in some cases the doctors, I don't actually, when I think, see, I don't have children, but I don't think you can even get medicate get medication, excuse me, when this happens, because you're breastfeeding and everything that you take in is given to the baby. I highly doubt that they're going to give you medication to help you with it, these pills, because you're breastfeeding, unless you stop breastfeeding. Then you just have, oh, but if you don't, you have to literally just live with it, until you're unable to anymore and get the help and everything like that. Okay. All right. So I thank you so much, everybody. Again, I will have another call-in show very soon. I love call-in shows, and if you have any suggestions or topics, you could always let me know in the comment section. Okay. Even if you missed this live, you can still leave a comment of what are your thoughts about this, about Lindsay Clancy. You can let us all know below. All right. Not just in the chat, but in the comment section. Please get those likes up. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for calling in. Thank you. All right. So you all take care. Bye, everybody. Bye.